Video unavailable. Why does it say video unavailable? Is it not set to public? It's set to private. That's why. Public. Done. Save. So there we go. All right, much better. Now people will be able to jump on. Lovely. So I was wondering why it was doing all of that. Intriguing. So we'll just wait for a few people to jump on here. So I had it on private for some reason. So we're waiting on a few people. I've got 3 interesting niche fragrances to bust open and smell that I have not tried ever before. One I'm very, very excited about. Very excited about, actually, because it's been on back order since March. I've been waiting since March for this package to come in. It finally came in. I got an alert from DHL saying I had a delivery coming today, so I got pretty excited about that. So just waiting on a few more people to jump on. So, all right. So this first one, I actually did unbox. We'll save this one for next. So I actually did unbox this one the other day. This is the Formal Gentleman's Collection from House of Sillage, and I did not spray it. It's a 75 ml. It's a gorgeous presentation. All 3 of these were sent to me for review, so this is not any purchases, just full disclosure. These were sent to me for review, and haven't decided what I will and will not do full reviews on yet because I haven't smelled any of them yet. So we'll see what excites me to do some testing first and foremost. But I got to tell you, these bottles are pretty damn cool. I love the way these bottles look for House of Sillage. I really do, because of this right here. That is cool. Nobody else is doing stuff like that, you know? So I'm going to go ahead and give this a little spritz. Let's see, we got several people jumping on now. Great atomizer. A lot of violet. I'll tell you right now, tons of violet is what I get. Violet and pepper. I don't remember the note breakdown, but I'm pretty sure those are in here. Yeah. Violet smells a little resinous. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Kind of. It's definitely quite spicy. It's not wowing me by any means. It does smell of high quality, though, I have to admit. This is the first time I've smelled anything from House of Sillage. Like I said, I did a little quick unboxing shorts video the other day, but I wanted to wait till I was going to do a first impressions video of some kind to spray it and smell it. So, you know, I like to keep my first impressions genuine for you guys. I like to do everything genuine. And, you know, that because I get animated sometimes. I know you guys can really tell if I really like something, you know. This I don't really like, but I don't dislike. It does have somewhat of a formal appeal, but I wouldn't say super dressy occasion. I would say more along the lines of geared towards the evening more so than formal. It's just a violet, spicy resin type of smell. It doesn't come across as super unique, but it doesn't remind me of anything in particular either. It doesn't have a powdery appeal, even though I'm smelling a lot of violet. I definitely got a strong blast of violet as soon as I sprayed it. It smells like a creamier type of resin. It's not a dark resin, not like a myrrh or anything like that, or I don't get a vanillic benzoin kind of resinous smell like an elemi or not a Tolu balsam. It's not balmy, but it's probably elemi. I think there's elemi in here if I remember correctly, because it's got that slightly creamier resin appeal. Yeah, it's decent. It's not super strong or anything like that. You know, I'll spend some time with it and give you guys my full thoughts on it, but it does not, it's not as exciting as I hoped it would be for my first House of Sillage fragrance. It's not anything super spectacular or special. I would have preferred if they would have sent me something a little more daytime oriented. But I'll give it a try. You know, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about them sending me something for review. I'm always honored when somebody wants to send me a fragrance for me to check out. I do love the no strings attached thing part of it though, because I don't pull any punches. If I don't like it, it is what it is. If it's okay, it's okay. If I love it, you know when I love it. So let's move on to something else here. So House of Sillage. So right here, my favorite distributor to deal with, because I love the representative that I deal with so much. Some of you may know who I'm talking about. This is from Euro Perfumes. I love my representative. She is awesome. She really is. I don't reach out to her all the time to get a bunch of stuff. I'm not that guy. Let's see what she put this time. Ross, we're excited for you to review Etat Libre d'Orange's newest launch, Soul of My Soul, All Our Best, the Eldo US team. So they are specific distributors for Etat Libre d'Orange as well. So I can get my hands on Etat Libre d'Orange fragrances, but I don't want to abuse it. I don't like to abuse anything. You know, if somebody's nice enough to let me try something, which another new release, Soul of My Soul. I'm pretty excited about this one. Where'd I put my knife? So I'm pretty excited about this one. I have not looked at any note breakdowns. I saw a picture of the bottle. The bottle looks freaking cool. So I'm hoping it's awesome, because Remarkable People is the last fragrance I got from them. And that is, you know, shame on me. I haven't been wearing it, but that's a cool fragrance. I like that fragrance a lot. It's very, very versatile. And I'm hoping this has something going for it along the lines of being versatile. Wow. Look at this. So this is a different presentation from all of my other Etat Libre d'Orange fragrances. So okay. So it's got to sit perfectly for it to close. But that's pretty cool. The way it opens like this, I don't have any other fragrances like that. It actually has a mirror and everything. That's a nice touch. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about the juice, but a cool presentation can go a long way, you know. Digging it a lot. Soul of My Soul. It's got a patinaed kind of brass look. Digging that. Dark color to the glass. Interesting to say the very least, but we'll give this a spray on the wrist. Oh, it's sprayed right away. Love these atomizers, are great on these. Musky. Definitely musky. Very musky. But not animalic. So that's a good thing, because I hate an animalic. No, hate's the wrong word. I don't hate an animalic musk. I just don't care for them. Most of the time, they don't jive with my skin. Just like a lot of dark, earthy vetivers. They just don't jive with my skin. Man, it's clean, yet a little gritty. I know that's a strange way to put it. Definitely musky with some earthy components, but it's not dirty. That's a big plus for me. This is an interesting fragrance. This is much more interesting than the House of Sillage fragrance. There's almost like a little fruity sweetness that's kind of, now that it's chilling out for a second, that's in the background, just a little bit. I have no idea what the note breakdown is. I did not look at it. I have not looked at it even one time. So I'm 100% blind with this. No clue what the hell is in this, but it's definitely a musk-dominated fragrance. It's got almost like an aphrodisiac appeal to it for the muskiness. I know that's kind of strange to hear, or for me to even say, actually. Man, it's getting better and better as it's chilling out and calming down and starting to dry. This is a good release. Slightly unique. Now, when I say slightly unique, it's because I don't have anything that smells like this, and I haven't tried anything that smells like this. Is there another fragrance out there that smells similar to it? I don't know, possibly. But for what this nose has smelled, no, it's quite unique for me. Yeah, all those rough and rugged, that edge that I smelled in the opening, it has an almost abrasive musky type of opening, it's really smoothing out a lot and fast. Definitely a woody back, a blonde woods type of woody backbone here, maybe some sandalwood or maybe a cashmere wood type of smell. It's a light wood. It's definitely not an edgy cedar type of thing. Man, this is great. I'm just gonna be real with you here. This is great. Might have to start working on a review on this one pretty quickly. I'm digging this. Get a sample. Try this one. If you like musky fragrances, which I traditionally do not, this is actually quite lovely. The opening's a little rough and rugged, but it smooths out really fast. Newest release from Etat Libre, Soul of My Soul. And then once again, let's take a look at this presentation before I seal it up again, because it's something different. I dig it. Kudos, Etat Libre. And then the creme de la creme, the star of the show, in my opinion. Been waiting since March for this. Roja Parfums, Burlington 1819. This has been on back order since March. I've been wanting this for a long time now. Justin sold me on it. Justin, if you happen to be watching, shout out to you. I know Justin enjoys this one. I decided if I was ever going to get my hands on another Roja Parfums fragrance, this was going to have to be the one, because I've heard nothing but good things from Justin about it. So, pull this. Whoop. Good thing it dropped in my lap. Here we go. Roja Parfums, Burlington 1819. Lovely. Gotta love those jewels on top. So I have two fragrances on my right arm, so we're going to switch it up and go to the left. So I've heard this is boozy. It's super mega citrus. God, atomizer. That's got like the smell of a citrus rind, almost like the rind of the bergamot is what it smells like. Talk about authentic. Wow, this is bright and mouth-watering, juicy fruit citrus. And I want to say I can pick up a little bit of that rum adding some warmth here. For as bright and mega citrus as this is, it's quite warm up top at the same time. That I didn't expect. Okay, give me a second here. So, Soul of My Soul was a pleasant surprise with how it smelled. This takes it up a few notches because I knew the note breakdown. I've heard things, like I said, Justin sold me on this. Justin's the reason I wanted this fragrance. I wasn't expecting it to be this great, which I should have, because Roja Parfums, it's nothing but top tier niche, you know? You want to talk about an elegant, complex citrus fragrance. This is it. Undoubtedly. Man, I can't wait to see what the dry down is going to be. If I didn't already have my fragrance of the day on, I would start dousing myself in this fragrance. That's how much I think this is awesome. I'm wearing that Dossier Parfums Woody Ginger, their version of Tom Ford EDT. I am wearing that today. Man, such a sharp, almost astringent type of citrus, but it's not too stingy on the nostrils. It doesn't sting the nostrils much, but it has a slight astringent quality, sharp citrus, bright, uplifting, but warm. It's so weird to me that it's so bright and citrus, but it's warm. So it's starting to become more of an orange smell, but there's definitely some rum back there. Some rum, and there's a little slight fresh herbaceous quality starting to come in, like an herbal nuance that's starting to peek its head. Guys, this stuff is awesome. Definitely a must try. Wow. I know they're crazy expensive, but must try in my opinion. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to have a wow factor fragrance of these three. This is a wow factor fragrance. Burlington 1819, wow. Soul of My Soul, pleasant surprise. The Formal from House of Sillage, mediocre, subpar, not as good as I hoped it would be. So it's interesting. We kind of touched everything but a bad fragrance, because the Formal's not bad. It just doesn't excite me, you know? Soul of My Soul excited me. Burlington 1819 really is exciting me. Yeah, this is tomorrow's scent of the day. Be on the lookout for a scent of the day post. I will be wearing this tomorrow. Looks like Invictus Aqua's sliding down the line again, because it slid down the line today for tomorrow. Now it's going to slide down for the following day. Guys, try this. If you want some mega natural, uplifting, warm citrus that's starting to nuance more and more as it dries down, because it's becoming much more herbal at this stage, and it's kind of like a warm orange up top now. It's just getting better and better and better. So I don't know, for some reason, I don't know if you guys have been trying to comment or not. I don't see anything on the chat. It says, okay, so here they all popped up. I have no idea. Okay, so now I'm just now seeing all of your comments. So for some reason, it was nothing on there, and I clicked top chat, and now it all pops up. So if any of you had any particular questions or anything, I apologize if I didn't see it. Let me scroll back. What's up? Definitely. Ross, big guy, how's you? My day is going very well, Robert. Thank you so much for asking. I'm having a great day. And I know I normally don't do lives, as you guys know, and I felt, you know what, instead of recording this, let's just go live and let's just smell them, you know? I mean, it's nothing different from me recording doing this, other than, you know, there's a live comment section. Let's see. What do you think about Carolina Herrera Beast? So I haven't tried that. Boss Bottled Night, I think, is an underrated soapy gem. It's got a dark edge because of the birch, but it's a very, very soapy fragrance. Very soapy. It's like a smoky soap, if you will. I think that's very underrated. Don't hesitate if you can find it for a really good price. They're usually really cheap. Light Blue Love is Love, I think, is underrated as well. I like that they did something different with that. I've featured it in a few videos. I haven't worn it in, like 2 months. But I have worn it this year. That's actually a really good fragrance. Forever's getting all of the love, but Love is Love is actually a really good fragrance from last year, I think, anyways. Hello from Michigan. Greetings from San Antonio. Let's see. From the Ukraine, how are you? Salute, Rubsky. What's up, man? So sorry, guys. Let me just catch up on all these comments real quick, because it wasn't there for some reason. Jeff, what's going on, man? He's got them killer hats. I've had this one for a long time, actually. I found this at a Marshall's. Keep an eye. Sometimes Ross Dress for Less will have just a few times out the year, they'll have a slew of like all-star hats from the year before and certain fitteds. You can find, just like you can find great fragrances at the rack stores, you can find some great hats at these rack stores too. I think this was like $7 at Marshall's. And this is a throwback style Nike hat, you know? Let's see. It's like early 90s style. You going to get Invictus Victory and Light Blue Forever? Yes, I am. And Victory started showing up at the discounters, so I'm about to pull the trigger. Next round of me buying fragrances is going to include Invictus Victory and Rasasi Hawass. I've had so many of you in the last year tell me I need to get it. I'm finally going to bite the bullet and get a bottle of it. Why EDP is next, as well as Why Le Parfum. That's the next 4 purchases I'm looking to get. I agree with fragrance taste. Important when following fragrance. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's nice when you can relate to the person you're watching. That's why you would come back for more than one video. If you agree with my opinion and my taste, of course you'll most likely come back and watch another video. I appreciate that. Suede Orris Rose, Bergamot Pink Pepper Incense. I'm assuming that's for one of these fragrances. Madagascar Vanilla. Jeff, I'm not sure which note breakdown you're rattling off for me, but I appreciate it. Eros or Code Profumo. That's a tough one because they're quite different. Which is best for clubbing or a party? Well, I don't really club or party much anymore, so it's more so I would wear stuff like that out to dinner. So I would lean towards Code Profumo. I really like Code Profumo, but there's nothing wrong with Eros. Eros has a place in everybody's collection, in my opinion, no matter how old you are. Let's see. Scott, what's going on, man? Eros is, oh, jumped ahead. Ross is my go-to for hats. Yeah, exactly. So apparently it jumped me ahead. So I'm closer to the newer comments. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm waiting anxiously to receive my bottle of business over pleasure. Please hurry up. I can't wait. We're discussing timelines in our group message today, as a matter of fact, on when we're going to Chicago to sign these cards, pack boxes. Of course, we're going to shoot content. Somewhere around the very end of this month, the last few days to the first few days of July. That's kind of the timeline we're looking. It's not set in stone yet. The bottles are at the filler. And then they'll be getting cellophane wrapped as soon as they finish with that. And then we're going to be packing them out and sending them out to you guys. So let's see. Bryn Lynch, how are you? Regular on the channel. Javier, what's going on, my friend? Fragtastico in the house. Let's see. What do you think of Givenchy Pie? Believe it or not, I haven't smelled that fragrance since I was a kid. It's been a long, long time. I couldn't tell you the last time I smelled it. I don't even remember the olfactory profile. It's one that I've put off getting. It hasn't even been in the back of my mind. There's so many fragrances I get asked about on a daily basis that I wish I was made of money and could have them all. I wish this entire room wall to wall could be fragrances, because when it comes to fragrances, I love variety. Obviously, you don't buy this many fragrances unless you love variety with your fragrance wardrobe. It's one of those things I would love to get my hands on again one day. There's just so much. I got to say, 2021 has been a good year for designer releases, just for fragrance releases as a whole. They've been putting out some great fragrances this year, capitalizing on the slow year that 2020 was, which there was still some really good releases in 2020, in my opinion. But 2021, they've been putting out some really good flankers, and there's a few originals, but the way of perfumery now, it seems to be the world of the flanker these days. And as long as they're doing good with the flankers, it doesn't bother me. There's a place for flankers, as long as it's a true flanker and not some completely different fragrance riding off the success of another fragrance's name. I don't agree with that, but I do agree with a fragrance that stays within the base DNA, manipulates that, and creates another style to that DNA. I agree with that for sure. Oh man, our pain, not enough money to afford all we want to see. Yeah, no doubt, Javier. And look, I like getting the bottles. I mean, you want to get the bottles if you're going to sit here and review it for somebody. That's just my opinion. I get tons of samples and all that stuff, and I'll try them once or twice, and then they end up in a container or in a box, and I end up never going back to them. I do like to try to sample as much as I can, but certain things, I just screw it. I just get the bottle. It's kind of a sickness in a way that I'd spend the money. I just go ahead and spend the money. What was the Aventus smelling aftershave? So that's Razzle Rock Emperor. It smells like a fruity version of Aventus, and it's only like $12 or $13. ItalianBarber.com in Canada. That's where I got the shave soap and aftershave splash. Right around $21, $22. You can get the soap and the splash. It's not the greatest lathering, best glide and all that, but it's a great budget option. It really is. They smell great, and you're not going to spend a lot of money, and it does give you a good shave. Let's see. Late to the party, but here for everything left now. I appreciate that, Brett. Thank you, man. You have as many full bottles as you do. Wearing a sample for a day almost seems like a waste. Yeah, kind of. What's your favorite fragrance from Ferragamo aside from Aqua Essenziale Blue? That's a great question. So if I had to pinpoint just one besides AE Blue, that's tough because I love the house as a whole, but I think I have to go with Ferragamo from last year. I haven't gotten the intense leather flanker yet, obviously, but I think that's a great blue fragrance that I haven't been wearing. I like wearing that in the spring and fall. I kind of skipped on it in the spring, but wore it a lot last fall. That, I would say, is my number 2. Any good suggestions for 100-degree plus weather? Oh, tons. I can't narrow it down to just one. Depends on the budget. Depends on what you like. There's more factors to that question for me to really give a good recommendation, to be completely honest with you. I don't want to just say something generic instead of tailor making that to you, and what you like. executive man from Sterling. No, I'm trying to stay. I don't want. I have a ton of Aventus smelling fragrances. I don't want a ton of Aventus smelling shave soaps and aftershave splashes. From Sterling, I have Sandpiper, which is La Nuit de l'Homme, which I just used on Sunday. It's going to be in the splashes in the next rotation video. Do you think there's going to be a second batch of the Z Creator? No, there will not be. There will not be a second batch. We've stated that from the beginning. There's a certain amount being made, and when they're gone, they're gone. They will not be reproduced in a year, in 2 years, in 6 months, in 3 years. George wanted a beginning and an end, and that's what we're doing. It's about the experience and the creativity and the artistry of it. It's not about trying to make as much money as we can. That's why he didn't want to make it a long-term thing. He wanted a certain amount. When it's done, it's done. Obviously, we're going to make a few dollars out of it, but it's not something, nobody's trying to get rich off of this. Otherwise, it would be a cutting costs. We wouldn't have been able to do the things we were able to do with the packaging, because it was a large expenditure on some of the expenses for this. This wasn't cheap to make per fragrance. And it's one of those things that's a celebration of, the growth of the community and where the community's going versus some kind of cash grab. Definitely not any kind of cash grab. Why is the liquid called juice? I don't know. I didn't start that. It's something that just it's kind of lingo for this community. It's a bad hat. I don't know if you mean that in a good way or a bad way. Infrared eau de parfum. Infrared is an eau de parfum. I don't think it's an eau de toilette. I believe it is an EDP, actually. Do you have a favorite niche fragrance for hot summer? Whew. Probably Wave Musk from Mancera. That's a pretty default answer for me. It's not the easiest to find anymore for some reason, but it's great. It's a little salty, like a natural salt, grassy green, aquatic, very airy and fresh. It performs. I love Wave Musk. You can get your hands on that. That's a great, somewhat affordable niche fragrance. So you can find an $80 range when you can find it. For a niche fragrance that performs, that's pretty good. Let's see. We should call it blood. Nah, I don't think about that. G-Dub, appreciate that. Yes, my fragrance was built with heat in mind, because I've spent 35 years in the South, growing up in 100% humidity, hot as hell all the time. So I had that in mind with creating the scent profile. Was I wanted something light enough, especially in the opening. It's super, super light and fresh in the opening. And it starts to get a little bit more dense as it settles down, because the woods really start to come in the iris and stuff like that. So I pretty much created a 3-season fragrance. I would say it's best for spring, summer, fall. Yes, it can be worn in the winter. It actually, the iris comes out a bit more in the winter, I find, on my skin, and when it's really cold, but it's definitely geared with spring, summer, fall in mind. You think Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme is still a fragrance worth buying? Yes. And TLTG means the legendary Team Gates. That's my fantasy sports team name. The acronym on the matchups always would pop up as TLTG. So in my inner circle with my childhood friends for these leagues, they just TLTG would get called a lot. So I just kind of ran with it when I created my channel. And when I was trying to figure out a channel name, I said, why not? So that's how that ended up happening. Favorite PDM? That's a tough one, because I really like Latent Exclusive. Really, really like that. I enjoy Cologne and Sedley a lot. I used to be able to say Carlisle, but I think I'm going to have to go Cologne, really and truly, because it's different. It's spicy. It's really, really spicy. It's not of the norm. Not everybody's a fan. It's very polarizing. I think I'd have to say Cologne. Lucky You. That's a great fragrance for when you're just running errands, casual, kicking around the house. Grassy Green. Another one's Grassy Green. Cheap, too. Gentleman EDT, if you're 17, I don't see why not. The newer formula, I don't know about the vintage version, but the newer one that came out since 2017, I would say, yeah, it's a soapy iris, very fresh. It's easy to like, easy to wear, soapy clean. If a house approached you to tell you, we'll give you our whole collection, no matter quantity or value, which house would you choose to have it all? That's an interesting question. I don't know. There would be a lot more that would have to go into it, because something you guys don't see in my emails is I turn down a whole lot more than I accept, because I have certain guidelines that are non-negotiable, and it's not money. I don't get paid to do videos like some people say I do. I don't. I do get products for free, and I'll get affiliate links sometimes, and I don't get a ton of products for free. But if you're not okay with me being me, I don't care to get your fragrance. So there's more to that question. It would depend on their response to that, because I'm very firm with my responses in my emails. And if you're not cool with me being me, because there's the potential. Yeah, I'll do like a lot of stuff and I can find the good in most fragrances. But if you're not okay with the potential that I'm going to have something bad to say about your fragrance when I do it, because I do a lot of first impressions videos. It's my favorite format to do. My reaction is going to be genuine. And if you're not okay with what may come of it, you don't need to send me your product, because I'm not saying it will happen, but there's always the potential for it. So there's that goes on. You know, I turn down a lot more stuff than I accept. People just don't know it. You like blue fragrances, but I'm not sure if you would ever express your thoughts on Elysium. I have. If it performed better, I think it would sell even more, because I think the biggest knock from people is some people only get 4 or 5 hours from it. I get more 6 or 7, which I'm cool with. But I could see people not wanting to spend that kind of money for that. I understand wanting 8 hours and above when you're spending $200+ on a fragrance. So I think that's the knock on it, because the Pour Homme's a bit more dense. It doesn't get the kind of love that the Parfum Cologne does. But I think it's a fantastic summer fragrance. It's super fruity, super fresh, still has some fougere herbaceousness to it. I really enjoy it, and it performs decent for me. It's average. Fragdicted. Tony, what's up, man? Tony's in the house. I got some people across the pond that are up watching me. I appreciate that. Mikey Bizzle for Shizzle, Blue Sapphire. Yeah, that's the way to go, in my opinion. I mean, it's what I wore on Sunday. It's right here. I love this stuff. You know, it performs better. It's a bit more metallic. It's more focused on the citrus. It takes all the herbal components away. Like I've said many times in videos, it takes the aromatic fougere quality out and makes it a citrus aromatic. Let's see. Tony, Cologne is definitely polarizing. Yeah, I know. And I had to wash it off. Man, yeah, not everybody likes it. It's a very, very polarizing fragrance, but it's got this rubbery, super spicy kind of smell. I dig it. It's different. And it's not what I wear enough. I wear it here and there in the winter. I kind of strictly wear it in the winter, to be honest with you. I'm very, very seasonal with my fragrances. Once that season I deem it best for passes, I usually won't touch it. Most fragrances anyways. Insurrection 2 Wild, Crazy Strong for you. One spray. What's the performance like on Invictus Aqua? So I get about 7 hours of longevity, roughly 6 to 7 hours, right in that average to slightly above average range. And the first 2 hours, it projects really, really heavy because it's very light and ozonic. It really gets out in the air. That's usually how I managed to pull so many compliments with it over the years that I've had it. I'll refresh 6 hours in just to get another compliment, because I know most likely I'll get one. It's like magic for me. I know not everybody gets that kind of response from it. I know a lot of people do. But for me personally, nothing works at getting me a nice positive compliment better than Invictus Aqua. It's just the way it works for me. Where'd you buy that hat? So this hat came from a Marshall's several years ago, like $8. Green Irish Tweed's good, but Creed's getting to where it's not really worth the money for the performance. I'm skeptical to try Viking Cologne, because I'd hate to spend that money and it give me 4 hours, 5 hours. Because even if you can find these at $200-something, it's still a lot of money for 4 or 5 hours. You know, I'm happy with the performance I get from the original Viking, but that's an early 2018 batch, so that's when they were still performing pretty well. You know, my 19S11 Creed Aventus still performs decent, but it's not a beast. You know, it's slightly above average, but not a beast. So I'm skeptical with a lot of creeds because I've heard a lot of horror stories from people getting bottles in the last 2 years. So I'm very skeptical with creed. My creed collection may not expand much beyond the 2 fragrances it currently is. Strong with you intensely. Well, I haven't tried the intensely, and I love the original. So I can't comment on which is better. I've had people tell me the intensely is way better than the original, but I can't verify because I haven't tried it. So I can't give my opinion on it. I'm going to be in Milan for the March Expo. As far as I know, no. Nishane Ani is amazing. Yes, Clifton, it is. I have not spent any more time with it since I did that first impressions. I want to do Bleecker Street next. I try to space out the niche reviews, which, I mean, it'll be a little bit before you see any of these niche reviews. I try to space everything out. I do a little bit of first impressions videos. I'll do some lists. I do have my weekly rotation. I'll do some individual reviews. I'll do some cheapies. I try to mix it up with my content throughout the week. What the hell is REDES? Philip, I don't know what you're asking me. I really don't. What's your favorite 1 million? Privé, hands down. I love 1 million Privé. Let's see. Melly Mel. What's going on, Melly Mel? Pensacola, Florida's in the house. Tune in after this live ends, Tony. Tony, did I miss a comment? You got something going on? Yeah. Annie is fire. It really is. Fahrenheit Parfum alternative. I don't know. Just get your hands on Fahrenheit Parfum. It's that good. I hold it in such high regard. I like cherish it and don't ever spray it and just smell it out the bottle. I'm weird. But yeah, it's super good. Just to get your hands on that. Definitely get your hands on the original for that. So, D squared 2. No, I haven't tried that. Podcast is fire, by the way. Long form, unedited content. I appreciate that. I do have a couple more guests lined up. Kind of spreading it out a little bit more so those podcast episodes can breathe a little bit. Because I find doing them every week, they weren't getting a lot of love. And as I spread them out more, they seem to get a little bit more headway by doing that. So probably not this weekend because I do have something going with Dan, with Mr. Smelly on his channel for this weekend. And then probably the following weekend, I'll probably have another podcast episode. Hasselblad 2-1 with Annie. Interesting. I'm not the layering type, though. I just usually pick a fragrance and run with it. Wow, this has gotten lightly spicier, like green spice, and that rum's setting in a bit more. Man, Burlington 1819 is so damn good. And I want to say Soul of My Soul is getting a little bit of florals going for it. And it's definitely getting a little bit sweeter. Interesting. Do it. No. MFK Gentle Fluidity Silver. I haven't tried that one. Let's see. It's funny that you most watch videos to save money. Cheap clones. Most people want to smell good at a good price. Yes, absolutely. And that's who I am. That's how my collection started. That's how my collection continues to grow. Loving the hell out of something like this, but I can enjoy, there's $20 fragrances I can enjoy just as much as this Roja Parfums fragrance. You know, it's not one of those things to where my palate developed to where I turn my nose up at synthetic fragrances, because there's a place for everything for all kinds of people, in my opinion. And I mean, you guys see how much I talk about First Instinct Together. I love the hell out of that fragrance. I've got multiple bottles. You see the juice level dropping. I try to wear it pretty regularly because I just enjoy the way it smells that much. And that's one of the most synthetic fragrances in my collection. I just love the way it smells, you know. I can find the good in most. I really can. And when I'm underwhelmed, I'm underwhelmed. It is what it is, which is how CI is the formal. Kind of underwhelmed on it. It's not bad. Very woody at this point. It kind of smells a little generic for a date night evening type of fragrance, to be honest with you. I wouldn't call something the formal that doesn't have some type of daring appeal. That's where I think they went wrong there. I think they need to make it a little bit more daring if you're going to call it the formal. Because if you're black tying it, you're pulling out something special. You know what I mean? I mean, the average frag head anyway. You're going to pull out something special if you were going to a black tie event, which is what I would consider the formal, you know? Good fragrances, cheap out there. Thanks for your content. I appreciate that, Philip. Oh, Burlington 1819, Clifton. Just got it in. Super, 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 super happy with this one. This is the one that wowed me. I know you're late getting here. So this was the last one we discussed. And then the new release from Etat Libre, Soul of My Soul, which is a musky delight that is actually getting a bit sweeter. And then the first one we discussed, House of Sillage, the Formal, which was the one I liked the least. I don't hate it. Don't smell bad. Just kind of, yeah, you know. Mortgage house for a fragrance in the fall. No, not doing all that. Heard great things. Yeah, Justin sold me on this. That's why I wanted it. I had watched Justin feature it in a few videos. Yeah, I'm shocked you don't have it, Clifton. For those of you that don't know, Clifton has an extensive, outrageous niche collection that most people would love to have. It's ridiculous. Go on Facebook. There's pictures of his collection. Check out. Clifton's got some serious heat. So I think we're going to go ahead and call it. I want to thank everybody for jumping in on the stream. We're a little over 45 minutes now. Let everybody get back to their day. Thank you so much for jumping in on here. The first 5 minutes of the live stream, I didn't realize I had it on private, and I was wondering why it was just me on here. So it was my first live stream. I thought when I clicked go live, it just went live, but no, that wasn't the case. But thank you all so much for coming and check me out. Be on the lookout in the near future for reviews on these fragrances to get my full thoughts. Spoiler alert, I'm confident it's going to be a glaringly positive review for Burlington 1819 because I think it's freaking awesome. But until next time, guys, on the next video, y'all have a good one. We'll see you around the corner.